marketers. I've got at least a dozen ways here to improve your content through prompting, through training, through editing. That's an image created by AI. I will be sharing the actual prompts in the deck. Just look at the deck when we share it, and you'll see the prompts used to create everything that you see in here. So that's just a picture that was created on Midjourney we'll talk about. I'm going to combine all of my thanks in advance to all the people that I've been learning from, or some of the ones that I've learned the most from, both in one-on-one conversations and at events. Paul Reitzer, the founder of the Marketing AI Institute, Chris Penn from Trust Insights, Chris Carr, my co-host on the Digital Marketing Masterclass podcast, Carmen Simon, Ethan Malik. I'm learning a ton, and these are people that you should follow if you're interested in this topic. So I'm starting with a very human component, which is gratitude. And these are the people that I'm talking to about this all the time. I'm going to do big picture, and then I'm going to do practical, and I'm separating those. Big picture. We are in the midst of a massive evolution / disruption, depending on your perspective. And these things, if you look back, it happens maybe once every 15 years. Artificial intelligence in 2022, technically, it's been around for a long time, but we're feeling the wave now. Prior to that, you could say probably the biggest revolution might have been the smartphone. Prior to that, it was really the browser and the visual internet. Prior to that, the personal computing. I'm Gen X. I've seen all this evolve. It's been fun to watch. So if you think that is, me being a bit dramatic, think of what Sundar Pichai said on 60 Minutes recently. He said that AI is more profound than fire or electricity. Almost impossible to overstate what the pros are saying about the impact of this technology. It will change how we work, period. And tonight I'm going to be introducing the specific ways it might be able to change for you, starting right away. Some think it's dangerous. AI researchers all signed this one-sentence letter trying to warn us that it should be a global priority to protect ourselves and control this and regulate it, alongside other societal scale risks like pandemics and nuclear war. Wow, he's not the only one saying that. Yuval Harari, who wrote *Sapiens*, said that AI is actually more dangerous than nukes because nukes don't make more powerful nukes, but AI can and will by itself make more powerful AI. Get ready. It's inaccurate. Hilarious stories about people using it and finding massive inaccuracies. We don't really expect it to be accurate. That's not going to be a problem for us tonight, but it's definitely something that needs to be checked, right? It consumed the internet, and the internet's not perfect. It's biased. I've got scholarly articles that show that it's biased, but I'm going to do it in a more visual way by showing how we created images using Midjourney. We just put a single word prompt into Midjourney, which is an image creation tool. Senator, old white dudes. Doctor, white dudes. Nurse, white women. Company president, white men. Kindergarten teacher, white women. Police officer, white men. So the bias is obvious. So let's set our expectations properly around this and acknowledge where it's coming from. The large language model, it took lots of language. That language had biases, therefore AI has biases. And let's not even pretend that this is something that we can separate from human-generated language. It's undetectable. It's not. You won't be able to know that something you consume was generated by AI or not. Don't expect to. There's research on this already. The only reason that you can detect AI is because of low effort prompting. Ethan Malik says that prompting multiple times removes detectability. All detectors have high risk of false positive rates, and none of them work well with GPT-4, which is what we're going to use tonight. It's also the labor market impact is very triggering, and a lot of people think that it's going to nuke the lower third of the job market for knowledge workers, repetitive cognitive, it's called. On the upside, maybe it's going to be good. Some people, like prompt engineers, supposedly are getting huge salaries. On the other end, Andrew Yang, former presidential candidate, said that 2 million Americans who work in call centers making $17 an hour could all be replaced today. Okay. Paul, when it comes to marketing, Paul makes this very clear. He says that likely AI won't actually replace marketers, but think about this. Marketers who use AI will replace marketers who don't use AI. That I can imagine. That feels like it's now calibrated in reality. And people who embrace this are likely to have a strong competitive advantage in a free market labor context. But I'm going to put everything that we've talked about so far in the context of Amara's law. Roy Amara, Stanford computer scientist, said this. This is really, I think, gets to the heart of it. Probably we're just overestimating. We overestimate the impact of technology in the short term, and we underestimate the effect of it in the long run. So there's a hype cycle. It's actually peaked a little bit and is coming down, at least in Google Trends, ChatGPT. Let's just keep in mind that this is something that we can all potentially use. And if it worries you, probably you're the person who should be experimenting with it, trying it, using it, looking for opportunities. If AI scares you specifically, it's probably for you. You're the one who really maybe should be trying to use it. Okay, I'm done talking about the big picture. I've got one tip at the end we might talk about: labor market impact, societal implications, ethics, accuracy, and bias. I'm going to now switch and focus on the practical application, which is about productivity and quality. It's about professional development. It's about growth as individuals. That's another picture. These are pictures that I made using ChatGPT or Midjourney. So you are now witnessing in day-to-day conversations people of two different mindsets. The people that have a fixed mindset are really uncomfortable with and afraid of these things and are avoiding these things. The people who have a growth mindset are willing to step out of the comfort zone and learn and grow from chaos and change, embracing disruption and not running from it, not waiting. I meet people, I work with people, I'm talking to people all the time who are literally just waiting to see what happens, seeing if there's a tool that comes out that's relevant to them. Others of us are moving toward the wave and seeing we're open to it, and we believe that this is that talent is not fixed. Our goal tonight is greater efficiency, period. 20% efficiency. If this webinar improves your efficiency by 20%, we will be wildly successful. That would be an amazing outcome. I'm not expecting it to replace anybody's job. I just want us all to be a little bit more productive, a little bit more effective. So that's our goal. Start with that context, and you've calibrated yourself properly in the mindset to get value from this next 50 minutes. Okay, here we go. Big question. I get to ask this all the time. Should I use AI to do my writing? Just, should I write with AI? That makes it sound like writing is one thing. It's not one thing. How can AI help you? Write articles? Time out, unpack, break it down. Can AI help you do audience research, brainstorm ideas, write outlines, first drafts, social media posts, create visuals, email marketing copy, SEO edits? These are many different things. It's not one thing. It doesn't replace a job. It facilitates tasks. Now, here's my thesis for tonight. There's actually two types of things on this list. And some of them are about training AI to be like your audience. Others are about training AI to be a better version or an enhanced version of yourself. We're going to do two things. We're going to train AI to do two different things. Train it to be like our audience, our buyer, our target, and also to train it to do a better job, to be more like ourselves, our brand, our voice, our tone. Okay? So breaking that down, some of these things are about training to be like the audience. Research, ideas, right? Copy editing. Other parts of this I'm going to show you are about training it to be more like you. That's where we're going to begin. And everything that I'm going to do is more or less going to be in one of these two different categories. And I'm going to train the tool to improve my performance in those separate chats, moving prompts back and forth between them. Because ultimately, that's the point. That's the goal. That's what we're all doing here. What is marketing, right? It's to connect the target to the brand, right? To connect a person to the value, right? The audience to who we are. So I'm going to use AI to better understand my audience. And I'm going to use AI to quickly create better content in the voice of my brand. These are the two, and it's a big statement, I understand, big, broad brushstrokes. These are basically the two use cases for AI in the context of marketing. Okay, let's begin. First, I'm going to create a persona using AI. I've written about this, made a video about this, which you can find and I'll share later. We're going to train it to be like the audience. Watch this prompt. I'm going to use probably more detailed prompts than you'd expect. I'm going to use more prompts than you'd expect. Here's how I begin. AI, hey, ChatGPT, I'm using GPT-4, which is like $20 a month. It is far better than GPT 3.5 in my experience. If you'd prefer to do this in GPT 3.5, it's free. Go ahead and use that. build a persona for what job title? Marketing director. Stepping back. In this use case, I'm a social media marketing agency pitching a nonprofit. Just wanted to set that up. I'm selling to this buyer. They're a nonprofit. I'm a social media marketing agency. Okay, so we're going to build a persona where my buyer here is hypothetically a marketing director of a nonprofit of a certain scale. Right, that's the category that they're in. Here's the geography, Midwest. Here's the purpose of their business. They work with underserved communities in a healthcare kind of offer. What is my buyer's goal? To create fundraising campaigns through digital marketing and to promote their events. And I want the persona, I don't care about, age or gender or company income. Those parts of a persona are more relevant to B2C. I want to know what this person's goals are, what their pain points are, and what their decision criteria are for selecting a company like mine, a social media marketing company. What happens next is a little bit magical because it creates a persona for me with those goals, with pain points, and with the decision criteria. That's good as a start. Now I go edit it. You're going to hear me say that several times. Now you go edit it. You're going to improve that because it doesn't know for sure. It just consumed the internet and it's making a persona based on what it found. It doesn't know my audience specifically, so I'm going to adapt it for my audience specifically. Okay? Improve it. Don't just trust it. That's what Ardith said. I showed this to her. Ardith Albee, highly regarded persona generation marketing research expert, worked with hundreds of companies, creating thousands of personas. I got on a call with her and showed her what I was doing, and I asked her what she thought. She said, "You didn't validate that, Andy. Go check with your customers first. I don't trust this." That's a good perspective. Don't just trust this. Don't just believe this. Our goal is greater efficiency. It's not to automatically create just to do our job for us. We're trying to get a head start here. So in the end, I'm going to adapt that, and then I'm going to save it. I'm going to name it. See on the left there? I'm going to keep it. Now I have a persona. I've got a synthetic version of my audience that I can talk to day or night. It never gets tired. I never have to schedule a call. I can go ask it anything. I can ask it poorly worded questions that might even be offensive. I don't have to be polite. I just say, "What's your budget?" Like I can ask it whatever I want, right? And so it's if you part of your process is to create a series of stakeholder interviews, here's one more stakeholder interview for you. Go ask this all those same questions, right? You can use it all the time. You can ask it, "What information would you like?" I'm a content marketer, right? "What do you need to help you do your job? What social media posts might you click on? What information do you search for? What results, what research studies could I create that would be valuable to you, Taylor? What do you hate about about selecting social media marketing companies?" We should all know what our audiences hate about buying from us. That's very useful information if we're trying to convert visitors or sell to people, right? So these are just examples of prompts where you can pound on that day and night, hit it hard, and learn anything you want, right? Get ideas and clues based on endless prompting to learn more about this persona, this synthetic persona. Next, I'm going to create some content ideas. Now, I don't just say, here's lazy prompting, which surprised me. I've been teaching a class for the last few weeks at a private university, and I assigned AI to my students, thinking they just do amazing things with it, but they were actually pretty lazy with it. So I had to help them learn to prompt it better. This is the kind of thing people do and expect to get good value from. Hey, go write 10 articles, give me 10 articles ideas for nonprofits. Do you really expect to get amazing value from writing 15 words? Like, these are pretty general, pretty generic, pretty expected topics. You might get value from that, but I'm going to show you how to have it work harder for you. That was me just getting average information. Kind of a joke, AI. It really is average information. It ate the internet, came back, and spit out general stuff after summarizing a gazillion URLs it processed. Not the best way to get incredible insights, right? Instead, I'm going to show you how to go deeper. First prompt was generating the persona. Next prompt is asking it what its concerns are. What are your biggest marketing-related concerns? And the results are actually pretty interesting, right? And I'll pick one of these. I'm going to grab one. There's all kinds of good ones: volunteer recruitment, adapting to trends, partnerships and collaborations. Aha, that's true. I can picture my audience, and I've had these conversations, and I know firsthand, real world human experience, that they care about partnerships and collaborations. Okay. If that's one of my audience's top concerns, see, I put that prompt in the middle. Now I'm going to go ask for article ideas, suggest several practical how-to articles that provide who? A marketing director, or better yet, I could just do this in the prompt with Taylor, the chat with Taylor, for advice about forming strategic partnerships with other mission-aligned organizations, businesses, influencers to amplify our reach and impact. Much better. Some of these, honestly, I'm scanning through here thinking, I'd like to read that article myself. The Art of Collaboration, Crafting Win-Win Proposals for Nonprofit Partnerships. So I added shading and color. I built a persona and then asked it about its top concerns, picked a concern, and then asked it for articles ideas on that concern. That's how to use AI. You are training it like you train a human intelligence to give you value based on what? Information needs of an audience. So first you build the audience, then you find out the information needs, and then you seek the topics for content. Okay? I'm building this up. It's not as simple as it thinks. You've probably read articles and seen presentations where it's like, write a quick little prompt. Not too impressed, right? You probably were not too impressed. I believe you'll get far better results this way. Next step in the process, generating content. Let's write the outline. Hey, ChatGPT, write an outline of a practical article for Taylor. See, I'm in the persona prompt. I'm still in that same chat. I'm saving that chat. I will always save that chat, and I will talk that chat anytime I want. So it named it Taylor. Fine. If you don't like that name, give it a different name. You can edit it and teach it however you'd like, right? Treat it like a person. You're training this person. So now write an outline of this article for Taylor on how nonprofits can get great partnership proposals. The goal is to help Taylor write proposals to get business and influencers to join the cause. See the goal, the topic, the person. Here we go. Here's an outline. I'm actually sort of impressed with this outline because it suggested some things that I might have missed. I'm only looking for a productivity gain. I'm not expecting it to replace me or instantly do my job with a few quick prompts. And so with some of these, it's like follow-up. I could easily have skipped that. That's a clever thing to include. Resources and templates, that's another really good idea. A few things I hadn't thought of, now go edit it. Keep editing it. Don't rely on it. You're going to have to improve it. Don't expect it to don't abdicate your job or turn off your brain. You have to keep iterating on what it gave you. Okay? Other ways to do this, and there's other AI. I'm going to jump out of ChatGPT and recommend a tool that I use a lot. This is MarketMuse. MarketMuse is known for SEO copy edit recommendations. It's also very useful for earlier in the process of just generating content briefs. So big shout out to MarketMuse. This is I asked them, this is a content brief for nonprofits for writing partnership proposals. It suggests a word count. It suggests questions to answer. It suggests keywords to incorporate. It suggests terms to use. It suggests headlines. So this is what a content brief looks like from an AI-powered content marketing tool. This is a paid tool, but what it will do is give you a big head start. It's also got AI inside, like many, many tools do. But this is suggesting to me the keyword relevance and focus, and even keyword frequency. These are not rules. These are just suggestions to help me craft something that would be actually a keyword focused and search optimized article on that topic. Now we're going to take a different angle completely. I've done my research on my audience and my topic, and now I'm going to have it create a draft based on who I am. I'm going to train it to be like me. I'm going to train it to write in the brand voice. I'm going to start a different chat where I'm going to give it writing samples so that it can create something in the voice and tone that I'm looking for. This is how the pros are doing it. And I'm talking to a lot of people that are getting tons of value from this and using it every day. Read these blog articles written by Andy Crestodina and summarize the style of his writing. Copy, paste, give it some sample articles. I'm writing prompts so long and detailed that I do it in separate documents. Here's me just in a word processor, dropping in things, trying to keep under the character limit, refining it, removing images, changing the formatting, and then putting it into ChatGPT. And then it summarizes my style, which is helpful. You can do this for any brand voice. Just give it samples. Give it a bunch of text and say, summarize this writing style. Very good. Now it knows my style. Now this conversation I'm having, separate, right, from my persona one, I'm keeping this separate one, which is how to write in that style. Now, writing in Andy's style, create a draft blog article from the following outline. I grab the outline from the vetted persona battle tested and edited version of my outline, right? Bring it in here and have it create copy in the style that I just trained it on. In Andy's style, write something for Taylor. See how I'm combining two different trained chats, putting them together in a way that has a topic that came from a persona in a voice that was trained from based on a writer. And it gives me a nice draft. Is it useful? Is it amazing? Is it perfect? It's not bad. Now go edit it. You're not done. Keep changing it. Keep improving it, right? Okay. So that was a useful way to break down the steps involved in content marketing and content generation. And to keep that in context, I know that wasn't going to do your job for you. If you were anxious a minute ago that it was going to replace you, you should be happy now that you know it's not, because it wasn't perfect. You can't say this is going to destroy the labor market for knowledge workers and it stinks at writing. You can't have both those thoughts at the same time, right? That doesn't make sense. So, if really all we're trying to do here is to get a productivity boost and to write in ways that are more comprehensive, bottom line. Now, the subsequent prompts are where the real magic is. I write prompts that say things like simply expand, work harder, do more, give me a different version, or write it again in shorter words. Write it again, but make it punchier, more concise. Write it again, but add bullet lists. Write it again, but with more depth and detail. Write it again, but in a more casual, informal tone. You can continue to do this. I was working with a student recently. I forced them all to use AI. They're inside ChatGPT. This woman gives it a prompt. It writes something for her, and she's like, I don't like this. These words are too long. Like, what do you do next? I'll write it myself. Like, wait, try this. Ask it to write it again with shorter words. And there's like a light bulb moment. Like she stops, she's like, oh, much better. Yeah, that's right. Go figure. Ever worked with a human? You have to help them, prompt them, train them, work with them. It's an intelligence like any human intelligence. Don't expect it to get value from just one simple request. Okay. Also, even if you loved all that copy, you still need to do a bunch of stuff, right? Job's not done. Digital content best practices, images, videos, contributor quotes from experts, specific examples for your business, supportive data based on what you know to be, it didn't support everything with research. Internal linking isn't there, right? Formatting, bullets, bolding, probably not there. And strong opinions. It does not take a stand. It does not plant a flag. It does not have beliefs. You should do copy editing to make it stronger. ChatGPT never throws a punch. It never comes out for and against something, right? Not unless you're deliberately trying to prompt it to do so based on your personal values. So you can actually punch it up by if it all tasted like water, edit it to make stronger statements that will, it won't do that naturally. Okay, now you can save that as a prompt. Keep it, save it, use it again and again, okay? We continue on. You can imagine what's next. We're gonna write some headlines. Here's a basic headline. I'm not super impressed by it. How about this? Read these 10 headlines written by Andy, then summarize his headline writing style. Whoa, very good. It's got better ideas now, right? His headlines, it seemed designed to clearly articulate value with using elements of intrigue and specificity. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. So now, using Andy's style, write 5 alternative headlines for the following article and drop in the article. It wrote a bunch of headlines. If you didn't like these headlines, what's your next prompt? That's a little better. Write 10 more. Drop and give me 20. I want more. Add number. I didn't like those. Add numbers to them, right? Push it harder. Expect more from it and you will get more from it, right? If you give up on it or just give it weak input, it's like value in, value out. So now you're going to go, what I'm going to say. Now you got to go edit those. And then save that prompt. So that's your headline writing prompt, or save that conversation, right? It's a chat. It's a chat GPT is called chat GPT because you're having conversations. You're not just adding one thing and starting over every time. You are in that conversation. You can continue to talk to Taylor and learn from your persona, or give it, ask it for writing requests and have it write more in your style. So that headline thing was a bit of an illusion, of course, because there really is no such thing as a headline anymore. Anyone that's done digital for very long knows that there's a headline's not one thing at all. I was really just writing article headers there, but you can prompt it to do things for you like article headers, title tags, email, subject lines, social media posts, video titles, and then give it the requirements for each of those. Title tag shouldn't be longer than 60 characters. Email subject line should have the most compelling words in the beginning because the mobile inbox truncates things after 50 characters. So this is just a reminder that there's no such thing as a headline on the internet. I don't know what a headline is, but I know what each of these things are and I know how to write them, and I would never use the same headline for everything. So just going back to that. But I got social media posts on here, so let's do that next. Quick drafts in your voice. These are lazy prompts. Write 5 Facebook posts promoting this article. That might work. You might get value from that. I want to introduce you now to a tool that Chris Carr introduced me to. It's actually quite popular. AI PRM. It's a Chrome extension that sits on top of ChatGPT, and it's got a ton of little prompt helpers. So they're all submitted by community members, upvoted by community members, sort of vetted. And if you choose marketing, then you can see there's just a ton of them, 390 different prompts in marketing. And there are things like a content calendar in one click, or create a course in one click. Really impressive what it can do. This is not where I'm getting the most value. I frequently have this turned off. I go to manage extensions and turn it off. But there's things in here like 30 social media posts in one click. Okay, let's give it a try. So here's what it looks like. I asked the best social media content calendar generator that to create social media posts for a healthcare nonprofit. Remember, I'm a social media marketing agency working with nonprofits. And it gave me kind of this calendar format, and it gave different things for different social channels, which I thought was pretty interesting. Some of it was a little bit general. I would honestly probably work harder than this is working for me. It's like TikTok dance challenge and, LinkedIn business trends, a little bit expected, but still, if your idea well is completely run dry, these are ways to just trigger lots of thoughts. I know that everyone's building tools. HubSpot's building a tool like social media post generators. Use your brain, right? Add value. Think about your audience. Think about the timing, right? Think about the topics and formats, and use these to kind of trigger ideas. But this is not my favorite thing so far that I found, but I'm just happy to share it. Some of the other ones that you find in ARPRM, fascinating, really, really interesting what it's doing. Sort of impressive, mostly just for the speed at which it puts out the stuff. By the way, optimized for social media in our world means people. It's optimized for search means it includes keywords. Optimized for social means there's people and collaborators and contributors involved. We do not publish content without putting contributors into it. So I've got contributors such as for this one here, you can see I've got faces and names and points of view, multiple POV, right? So you can also use AI to find influencers if you don't have any relationships yet, or you're an agency working with clients and you don't know anyone in that niche. So for that, I'm going to use a feature that's only available on GPT-4, which is a paid tool. I think it's $20 a month. You can turn on settings and then toggle this on. Then when you switch to GPT-4, it'll give you a couple of options. This is how you get to all those plugins. But I'm going to browse with Bing. It's cool, right? I'm adding superpowers to an already super powerful tool by telling my AI to go browse the web and do things for me. So this prompt is possible only when you have browsing turned on. Go find 5 social media influencers for me who'd be interested on the topics in the following article. And then I paste in the article. You can see how every prompt I'm doing has a little bit more than you might have expected, right? I'm like, my prompt has an article in it, or my prompt is asking for a format, or my prompt is based on a persona or a research, or trained on a writing style. I was impressed. I don't know anything about writing for the nonprofit sector, but that article was about that, right? It was about partnership proposals. It browsed around and found these people. Anyone here I should collaborate with? Yeah, maybe. Probably any of these people would be fun to reach out to and ask for their perspective on crafting nonprofit proposal, partnership proposals, whatever. Anyway, so that's an example of how social media is more than dumping links on the internet. Social media is also about being social. ChatGPT can actually help you do that through the influencer identification. That's, if anyone's done any influencer marketing, that's one of the steps in an influencer marketing program, the identification piece up front. Very good for research. Very, very powerful research assistant. Okay, that was all fun. Generative AI is about language, right? Not just that. It's also about creating visuals. You might want visuals for these blog posts or visuals for that social post or visuals for a web page. For this, I'm going to switch over to Midjourney. Midjourney is an image generation tool. There's three of these, right? Stable Diffusion, Midjourney, and DALL-E. Midjourney's the UX is all within Discord, which is like a Slack for gamers. DALL-E is inside Bing Create, which is like, you're using in a browser. But it's fascinating what it does. And because it's in Discord, you can watch other people use it all day. So here I am. It's like, someone's making like pictures of couches, art installation in a white room, or like character design. You can clearly see that people are like using this for their job. Just sit here and watch, and people are using it to like create coloring books, and students working on their portfolio, and like, probably like game designers and, people who don't want to pay for a stock photo, or the visuals are amazing. The future of the internet is beautiful. There's Instagram accounts that are just people posting stuff for Midjourney, and they are incredible. So I'm going to make a prompt, and you can see the prompts all start with imagine. My prompt is going to be a robot, close-up of robot shaking hands with a child. And I add words. The best at this, add a bunch of words. I put the word photorealistic. You can add a style like watercolor or line art or, isometric 3D or whatever you want. So now it's going to start creating that image. And it creates 4 versions of it, kind of lowish res. You can see it gradually come in. It's interesting. You can see this for anybody. You get entertained while you're waiting for yours to create. And I'm seeing different versions of robots shaking hands with babies, with a child. Kind of cool, right? Interesting. Not good for control freaks. You're not going to get exact control. It feels like rolling the dice every time. When you pick one that you like, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 in the grid, it will upscale it and make a higher quality version of it. Hands, it's famously bad at hands. And this is like, there's a lot of memes about this. I was working on a picture for a mock-up of like, I needed retail employees looking at an iPad, and it gave me this. Look at the hands, super messed up. There's a lot of jokes about this, right? It's like too many fingers. What's going on? Here's a meme. Everybody says that AI will make designers obsolete. AI accepts the job. Look at those. It's like creepy and weird, scary. But if I were working as a nonprofit, or targeting nonprofits that do events, I could go to DALL-E, which is at Bing Create, and say, create a community event in a bright space with close-ups of people engaged in conversation, and get something that kind of works. Or I'll do it again in Midjourney, community event at a bright space with close-up of people engaged in conversation. Some of these might work as social assets. Don't look too close because it gets kind of weird, but definitely a way to do that. Just for fun, I'm going to take a break for a second and come into Discord and show you how this looks. I'm just going to make a random prompt. I thought of one a minute ago. But still, yeah. Gandalf and Kermit the Frog fighting with lightsabers. Let's see what it does. So that's my prompt. I'm going to go to the bottom now, and we'll watch it actually do this. Look, you can see it's doing, people are doing crazy stuff in here right now. Tattoos they're designing, all kinds of images, jewelry. But we can come back in a minute and see. Remind me, we'll come back and see this picture, see who won in this battle between Gandalf and Kermit the Frog as they try to in this. Wow, look at these, designing Lego cars and watercolor pictures and stock photos. It's
Andy,
visually striking.
Do you just have to scroll through and find yours in this list?
Yes.
Okay. So
it's absurd. It's absurd. You can search for your name. I should have started at the bottom when I did that. This person's designing stickers. But yeah, it's you're kind of trying to keep track of where yours was in the mix. It's a little weird. Anyway, we can come back and look at that, but it's really fun actually. And if you're not trying to get exact control, the specific use cases, I've seen people in there using it where they're like, they're maybe like a logo designer and they're looking to create a blank product to put the logo on. Or if you want a picture of like a person, like you're doing mock-ups of a digital product or an app, and you want the hand or the face, like looking at making the blank version for a mock-up, people making things on a blank background. You can tell they're maybe working on a presentation for a client. Anyway, there's also video for AI. This is runway.ml. I typed in the prompt to do a motorcycle jumping in front of an explosion. That didn't exist 10 seconds before. It just made that, literally. Like it's pretty impressive. Again, all the prompts for all the visuals in this presentation are in the notes of the deck. So you can go back and recreate these if you want. That's a motorcycle jumping. Okay, back to our, so you can use it to create visual assets. Email marketing, if you give it an article, in Andy's style, write an email promoting the following article, it will write an email for you. You can judge the email based on your own perspective and subjective point of view, or you can take the two emails, the one you wrote and the one it wrote, and throw it into an A/B test and see which one got higher engagement, open rates and click-through rates. In our test, it was a tie. That isn't weird to me because, as Ann Handley points out, email performance is based on the from line, as in who wrote the email, like the sender name, and both those emails had the same sender name. Email is a relationship between you and the audience. Here's another case for humanity. It's about trust between the subscriber and the brand. That's what triggers the opens more than anything else. So it's a interesting perspective, right? The subject lines and teaser text are not the biggest success factor in an email program. It's really about your reputation and about, does that person believe that you send good emails? I'm a little bit, I'm going to show you stuff now that we're going to keep secret, just the 400 of us, okay? So don't tell anyone else this next trick I'm going to do. It's actually up to you to decide whether you want to embrace these things or not. Let me come back to my screen sharing. This is how to use AI to do for better rankings. This is a mini framework. It's not strictly AI except at the end. First, I'm going to find the phrases that I almost rank high for. Then I'm going to find the words that were missing, the semantically related words that were missing for that. And then I'm going to use generative AI to fill in those blanks. So again, I'm a social media marketing company. My client's a healthcare nonprofit. And, a good topic for us is lapsed donor letters, fundraising letter that you send to donors that don't donate anymore, for lapsed donors. So in this example, that sounds like a really good key phrase. And my client's page is ranking toward the bottom of page 1. There it is, nonprofit fundraising. So let's improve that. So here's the actual article in this little case study. It's 900 words. It's got 5 sections. It's got an example. It's got an image. Okay, so that's not terrible. But did it miss the opportunity to rank higher by incorporating the semantically related phrases, the phrases that are closely related to my target key phrase of lapsed donor letter? So that's how to rank. This is my most reliable SEO win. I can make almost any page rank higher in half an hour or less by finding the related phrases and incorporating them into the copy. Where do I find the semantically related phrases? Google, right? Just start searching for the phrase. It'll tell you the related phrases, examples, template, sample, how to re-engage. I'm going to put these on a list. People also ask box, how to communicate with, how to get them back, what's a lapsed donor. I'm going to put these on my list. By just looking at the search results for the bolded text, did I incorporate these? If you search for this phrase and it bolded these other phrases, those are semantically linked, right? Or else they wouldn't be bolded. Fundraising letter, donor request letter, lapsed donor letter. So these are semantically related phrases. You can also just use Google Search Console to see the other phrases you rank for, or SEMrush I had to use because I don't have Google Search Console for that company's website. So these are other related phrases that I could incorporate on my list. Or again, MarketMuse for its famous use case, which is making recommendations based on what the words that your rivals incorporated into their content, but you did not. It's comparing keyword frequency of my content to their content. So these are all donor segment, donor retention, appeal letter. Are these words on the page? I just found a list of 12. You just watch me do it. It took only minutes, right? A bunch of phrases that are semantically related. Could I have included those on my page? Control F? Nope. Control F? Yes, once. Control F? I'm just checking to see if I use those on in my copy. Okay, it looks like I did not. I need to add these to the page. Can AI help me do that? Yes. How does it do it? Look at the prompt. Write an additional section for this article that included the following words and phrases: sample, what's a lapsed donor, template, donation request, lapsed donor letter. And then I paste in the original article, and it writes a new keyword focused section that I could append to that piece of copy, right, to that content. It also wrote a very nice template for a lapsed donor letter. My original had one. Maybe I've got another one now. So if you want to generate, so find the keyword gaps, and then you can use ChatGPT to write an additional section or beef up the copy or go into depth and detail with prompts that tell it to expand upon the topic in ways that incorporate those closely related phrases. I was careful not to change or remove any of the text that I already had. I'm just trying to add detail. Now, go edit it because that was a lazy way to do it. I should do it in the context of my audience. I should know my audience, but straight, just to be totally direct here, that would work. What I just did would work. That's very likely to be effective. That is exactly the kind of thing that works in search. Kind of weird to use an algorithm to talk to an algorithm. I should always have a human in mind. But I have extreme confidence in that mini framework for higher rankings because those are the main factors. I found a phrase I already ranked for. It was number 5 for that. I didn't have to do any keyword research. All I had to do was find the semantically related phrases and then use a tool to kind of help me quickly generate the copy, adapt it, put it in there. Show it to a friend, add a collaborator, add contributor quotes, add internal linking, do all the good things, click publish or update, and then, I don't know, less than a week, that thing will rank higher. 90%. I'll buy you a beer if that doesn't work. Anyway, here's the framework. You can see this is basically everything that I did just now. I'm also going to add descriptions to things. If I wrote an article and I made a YouTube video, I need to also write a description for a YouTube video. You could use this for meta tags or anything that's descriptive. One of the most powerful applications for AI is in its ability to do summarization. This is basically summarization. So I've got the video. I could take the transcript of the video or the article and simply say, write a YouTube description summarizing this information and give it the article. This is the article that goes with the video. I could also just give it the transcript of the video. And then it wrote this. I don't like this. It's too dense. It's too blocky. I'm not done yet. Fix it up. Revise that thing. Add bullet points and use that phrase, the target key phrase, several times. It wrote it. Now I go edit it. This is a great application. Definitely a 20% productivity gain for me. This is one of those things that I've done. At the end of this presentation, I'm going to show you everything that I use and the things that I don't use. I don't do everything that I'm teaching here. So here's the now I put that back into my workflow, right? So here it is. It's been added. I've revised it. It's been edited. So I could also add a title, like, write me 5 draft titles for that YouTube video. This was sufficient for me. It's also very good, speaking of YouTube, at converting between formats. If you've ever tried the task of taking like a podcast or video transcript and making an article from it, it's murder. That's hard work. It's very, very difficult and very time consuming to take a very long transcript of 10,000 words and turn it into an article that aligns with digital content best practices. Subheads, bolding, bullets, internal links, visuals, contributor quotes, research and support and data and examples. Like, it's got none of that. If you've ever tried this, I mean, it's exhausting to take a massive transcript and turn it into an article. I'll do it for you in seconds using ChatGPT. Take a YouTube video, click on the 3 dots, show transcript, take the transcript from that. Now, you can't upload 10,000 words into ChatGPT, but you can upload 10,000 words. You can make 10,000 words into a PDF and upload it into Chat PDF, which connects to ChatGPT. So Chat PDF is a way for you to upload PDF files. I turned that transcript into a PDF, uploaded the PDF to Chat PDF, and then asked it to convert that into a blog post. And it did a pretty good job. Definitely a good start. Definitely a 20% gain in productivity, probably a 50% gain in productivity in this use case. So, but the key here was to go around the character limits of ChatGPT by using Chat PDF. So you have to convert to a PDF file and then upload it. And then you can basically talk to your PDF, ask it anything. I'll give you another use case for that comes down to editing. You can make it's really good even for one-to-one emails, right? But here I'm doing an executive summary. This is the summary kicking off a giant content research report. Blah, blah, blah. The header's introduction. It's got some big blocky paragraphs. Could that be better? Let's try again using ChatGPT. You're a business writer. By the way, that's some of the best prompts begin with that. You are a blank. This is one of like the 6 things, the best prompting best practices. You are a blank. Write an introduction for an ebook targeting social media marketers. Rewrite the following text to make it more concise. Add a bullet list. Then I copy and paste in the original. It gives me a very nice, more concise, more better formatted. Ask it for a headline, gives me a headline. Just compare. The right side is better, I think, right? Like empirically, at least at this distance, it's just more scannable and easier to consume. It's more accessible. So that's a powerful use for it. I think editing becomes our main skill when we use AI, but this is a way to kind of make things concise and better formatted. It's also very powerful for gap analysis as we come here to the end. I wrote a book, many of you may know. It's the Illustrated Handbook for Content Marketing. It's in its 6th edition. It is a exhaustive topic. Piece on all the best things we've learned over the years. And the feedback has been very good. Here's an Amazon review that calls it the most comprehensive and practical guide that you will ever find. But is it? What did I miss? What's not in this book? What's not in this book? That's a question a human can't really easily answer. If you read a book and I ask you what wasn't included in the book, that's tough, right? It's like, do you have a quick answer to that? So I uploaded the book as a PDF file to Chat PDF and just asked it, what are the most important concepts in content marketing not included in this book? The answer, branding, sales funnel optimization, customer experience, personalization. Correct. I included none of those topics in the book. I'm not really interested in those topics. Those are overrated topics in my view, or that's not really my focus in this case. But unbelievable utility in its ability to summarize and find and do gap analysis. Similarly, this might be the best thing I'm covering in this entire hour. To improve a service page, bottom of funnel, commercial intent visitor, gap analysis on a page focused on demand and money and marketing qualified leads. Watch this. Which of Taylor's top concerns are not addressed on this web page? Copy and paste in a web page. Boom. That page didn't cover his healthcare focus, his planned giving campaigns, his values alignment, his specific pain points. Very useful. Do this tonight. do this before Monday. Build a synthetic version of your audience as a persona, and then give it your top pages. Look at analytics. What are your most visited pages? What are the pages that are in the funnel? What are the pages that are not supporting leads as well as they should? Do an analysis on click-through rates, on calls to action, whatever, or just do it on all your pages and ask it what's missing. And then go edit that page, right? What was missed? Very powerful. Also, you could use it to just make brand new service pages if you want to. Give it a first pass at conversion copywriting. This is scary, but I'm going to show you anyway. Tell AI to learn from copywriting legends. Summarize these 2 books, Copywriting Secrets by Jim Edwards, Breakthrough Advertising by Eugene Schwartz. These are the legends. These are the experts. These are the people who mastered persuasion copywriting before the pre-internet. Now, it actually doesn't read those books, but there's enough on those books published on the internet prior to September 2021, which is what ChatGPT has access to. And it summarizes those books nicely for me. My next prompt says, now use the tactics, strategies, and formulas you've learned from those books in all the future copy that I ask you to write in this chat. Absolutely. I'll apply the principles from those books to enhance the quality of any copy you request in this conversation. Wow, that is quite interesting. Great. Thank you very much. Now we'll write a web page promoting social media marketing agency that provides paid social media campaign services to nonprofit businesses looking to reach their fundraising goals for planned giving. There's my copy, right? It learned from Jim Edwards and Eugene Schwartz and then wrote a page promoting that service, using those psychology and behavioral marketing techniques. If you don't believe that it just did that, which I was skeptical at first, I asked it, what are the ways in which you use that advice from Edwards and Schwartz in that copy? Says, here's exactly how I did it. That was Jim Edwards. That was Jim Edwards. That was both Edwards and Schwartz. This one was Schwartz. That was Schwartz. Wow. Pretty impressive. Okay. We're going to summarize, and we got time for 1 or 2 questions. How do I use AI? I don't use it for all of these things, but I do use it for audience research. I sometimes use it, that the parentheses means I've kind of tested it, to brainstorm ideas. I don't use it to write outlines or first drafts, honestly. I have tried using it for social media posts. I have experimented with social media, with creating visuals. I have definitely used it to create email marketing copy, and I likely will continue to do so. Have not used it for that SEO copy edit thing that I showed you, which I have some reservations about, but I'm totally confident in its efficacy. I have used it to write descriptions for YouTube, as you saw. Converting between formats, that's just been an experiment for me. I don't use it to edit existing copy for me at all. I do plan to use it to recommend copy edits to my service pages. So last point, if you want to be different from AI, which we all need to do because now everyone's going to be using this thing in these ways and you need to separate your copy from theirs, keep in mind what Jay Baer said, which was, the problem is not that AI can do what marketers can do. The problem is that marketers keep doing what can be done by AI. Think about that. Do what AI cannot do. Quick example, GA4 versus Universal Analytics. GA4's cutoff deadline is tomorrow. This is a triggering topic. I knew the relevance of that topic to my audience, and that was the perfect timing to publish this. ChatGPT would not have recommended this topic because it doesn't know the exact timing in my exact audience. Then as I get into the piece, I write a sentence like this: GA4 is better than Universal Analytics. I believe that. I'm kind of alone in that view, but I'm making a strong statement. ChatGPT does not write strong opinion statements. It has no opinions. Then the personal video of me walking through all the differences with a side-by-side comparison, it can't do that. No way could it do that. Look at the video. You'll see nothing in it that AI could have done. And then this side-by-side comparison, yeah, you saw how I can make visuals, but it can't make a visual like this, an infographic with a metaphor at the top and, prioritized comparison all the way down. And then reaching out to my friends, my most opinionated friends with their strongest points of view and curating their perspectives on a mini roundup at the bottom. It can't do that. Influencer identification maybe, but not this, right? I know that Mike King and Justin Rondeau have strong opinions about this, which is why I reached out to them, right? So this is differentiated. So these are all ways in which you can be different from the machines, better, more human than the machines, building better personal connections. I'll just and there's a couple other slides in here that I'll share, but I want to leave at least 5 minutes, Amanda. I promised, and we made it. That's a picture of a tiny buffalo created by Midjourney. Buffaloes don't come that small. If you want something that doesn't exist, you have to use AI to generate it. World's smallest handheld buffalo in that picture, which I thought was more fun to add than another profile picture of me. Great. So, you like that?
I think you blew everybody's minds because there's not a lot of questions, but okay. Adam does have a question. Do you think there are any ethical wrongs in regards to AI?
I think that in the context of universities, which I'm close to right now, it is a violation of academic policies to use AI and not disclose that you did so, because the goal of the university context is to expand perspectives and have dialogue and discuss these trends and not pretend that you didn't do it. I sat and watched someone in a Midjourney one time create their student portfolio using Midjourney, and they were pretty good at prompting, and they made a portfolio that no human would have created. Like it was like the UX for a student's portfolio. I didn't love watching that. I thought that's pretty shady. This kid is supposed to be in art school. And that's, a lot of people worked hard to pass knowledge along and tools and skills along, and then just use Midjourney at the end to make a freaking portfolio. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think there's cases where it's a bit shady because it's not disclosed. If you had disclosure, kind of like ads and social media, then I don't see any ethical issues.
Do you think that if you're using AI that you need to make a footnote?
In that context of universities, I think, yes, it should always be disclosed. But, should we have told our subscribers that they were in an A/B test and that you're the group that got the AI generated one? Nope, I don't think so. I honestly don't think so.
Do you think Google will make an update to wipe out AI content ranking?
No. Two reasons. One, it's impossible. It's literally undetectable. The research is showing this. And two, Google's goal is to connect the visitor to the answer and the best web page on the topic. The reader's goal is to get the best content to solve their problem. AI is irrelevant. It doesn't matter that AI generated it. This is partly a perspective and an opinion. I'm sounding a little bit provocative here, but why would Google care? They just want to connect a person to the best information. And why would the reader care? They just want to get the answer to their question, right? So I don't see how it matters to either of those two parties in that context. The marketer cares. There's people who are scared and overwhelmed, and there's a lot of anxiety around this. But I don't see how. So let's say AI increases content production by 20% and the internet's flooded with content and Google has to crawl more content. Okay. But really, they've been doing that forever, and low quality, spam content's been around, machine generated content's been around forever. So no, I don't think Google will be able to do it. I don't think Google should even care if it, I don't see how it would matter that much to Google if some of these tasks were were supported by AI.
Awesome. I think you were just being sarcastic when you were talking about your reservations around using it for SEO, because it works. Or do you have reservations?
No, my reservation is that I did all those prompts without really reading the text or thinking about my reader. And I don't like that. I don't think it's unethical, but I think that the real SEO is trying to connect to a person and doesn't just want the rankings or the click. They want to be memorable and stay top of mind and to help someone in their day. So what I didn't like about that little framework was that that wasn't like a human-centered approach to marketing, which even SEOs must and should have a human-centered approach. What good is the traffic if the visitor isn't, if I didn't build a little bit of a relationship here or stay top of mind or help someone? So that formulaic thing, extend that out, and there'll be just a button that says optimize. You'll just click it and it will just find the related phrases and write the additional copy and update the page. But that's not really what I want to do in marketing. And that's not, and my goal, involves a bit more of a human and personal touch. Mm-hmm. There's a picture on the top of each article on our blog because there's a human behind each thing. So I don't think I would ever really just do that, like append a thing with a keyword focused paragraph written by ChatGPT. I'm sure lots of people will do that. And I don't mind if anyone here goes and runs and does that. But for myself and our approach, and Amanda, you know this, we're just intensely focused on an intimate relationship with our reader and our buyers and our clients and our audience. So I don't plan to do that myself, but no doubt in my mind, it will work.
I just wanted to share a quick tip that one of the audience members said on another way to use that, to your point, is to find complaints and competitors' products and services, and then use ChatGPT to help you rewrite, knowing their pain points and positives regarding your product and service, and then go write those, which I thought was a good point.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. One of my early aha moments in AI and generative AI was when I asked it, what do people hate about hiring a web design company? The answers were shockingly good. Everyone should go put that prompt in, right? What do people hate about buying from me or buying from my category or searching for my services? And then it's a very important thing to know, right? Because loss aversion is a powerful cognitive bias, and people will work harder to avoid a pain than to seek gain. So to use, and it's very hard to just ask your audience, right? You won't get great answers if you just ask 100 people, what do you hate about hiring a web design company? What? You won't, it's an awkward moment to try to do that in an interview, nor could you do it practically with enough people to get a quick, good answer. So anyway, yeah, I think that's, the complaints thing is a great point because of loss aversion and because how buying works with human brains. So yeah, we should all, if you're the best pages on the internet, do a very good job of objection handling. So conversion copywriters know this. We should all be doing objection handling in our copy.
Awesome. We are 4 minutes over time.
Thank you all. It was
Thank
great.
you so much, everyone. That was a fun one. I really
That was a
enjoyed
fun one. We'll share the slides, and feel free to connect with us as humans anywhere you'd like. We hope to see you again online.
it. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.